Hey, this is Mike Boggs for Stryker Systems. And one of the things that we wanted to do here at FABTECH is we wanted to introduce you some of the technologies that we support as Stryker Systems, and that's brought us into the booth for Komatsu America Industries. And a lot of people are going to be familiar with Komatsu by name. It's a very large company, and they're probably familiar with seeing Komatsu on the side of construction equipment, like excavators. See it all over the place. But Komatsu is a very large company into a lot of different sectors, and they do have a manufacturing group. And we are here with Vincent Villegas, who's product manager over the cutting division. And Vincent, can you tell us just what kind of technology you have here on display at FABTECH?
Well, here at the FABTECH, we have the press division, which we have small size presses, but we also make large size presses for more like OEMs, for automotive manufacturing and stuff like that. On this booth where we have the Komatsu TFP 612-3, which is a CNC plasma cutting machine. Komatsu makes precision plasma cutters and a bunch of different sizes. This one's a 6x12, but we have machines that are from 10 feet wide all the way to 100 feet long.
Okay, cool. So for all of us in the building, we know Komatsu. We're familiar with your technology, leaders in plasma cutting, and Stryker Systems, we support programming of plasma cutting technology. But for somebody who's not familiar, can you explain just kind of the basics of plasma cutting, what that is?
Sure. So precision plasma cutting is it's a little bit more complex than the conventional. So what you're trying to achieve is you're trying to achieve a high quality separation of metal. And the way we do this with these type of machines is we're feeding it an ionized gas, and then we hit it with electricity. And what we do is we constrict that gas through a nozzle, which is a pretty tight orifice. And once it comes out pressurized, hit by the electricity, then it creates a plasma arc. And thanks to the CNC part of the machine, you can actually control the movement and create two-dimensional parts. So, well, that's basically what a plasma machine does.
Okay, interesting. So there's a lot of different technologies, cutting technologies, that are here at FABTECH. So for a plasma operation, how would that compare to like a laser, and what applications would they use a plasma versus a laser?
So plasma is generally used in the structural steel, more for like thicker parts. You're talking about something around 1/2 inch and higher. The reason is because it's a much cheaper process than if you apply a laser. Now, don't get me wrong, there is lasers that are capable of cutting 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 2 inch, but the speeds are much slower and the process is much more costly. So when you're utilizing a plasma machine, the expense of a process like that drops down like 10 to 1.
Interesting.
Right. So, and the quality for thick material, believe it or not, the process on plasma is actually much better, much more defined than a laser.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. So for somebody who's not familiar with plasma cutting, but it may be something that they're going to get into the market for. So we've got behind us, that's the Komatsu TFP.
Yes. This is a TFP 6x12 3 series, which is a 300 amp machine.
Okay. So what are some of the technologies of the TFP somebody would want to consider if they're looking at a plasma?
So we have a few different items that separate us from the competition, but the one that stands out the most is the single cartridge consumable that's patent. That consumable, which is basically this one right here. This one right here alone is just one single piece instead of like a 6 or 7 piece setup, and it drops the cost of production dramatically. This one piece increases speed, increases quality, and it drops the cost. Well, you're looking at somewhere around, with our competitors' consumables, once you assemble the whole cartridge, you're looking somewhere around the range of $300. With us, it's only around $50-something. So it drops it dramatically. And when you add the pierce life of it, plus the increased speeds and the quality, the cost of production on this machine separates us from a lot of our competitors.
Interesting. One of the things I noticed, and we can walk over here, I saw some of the parts. We see some of the things that you've cut here. Now, you talked about the thickness of the material.
Mm-hmm.
This is some pretty thick material.
Yes, that is 1.5 inch mild steel.
So what's kind of the material range of what you can cut with a plasma?
Our power units are range from anywhere from 16 gauge all the way up to 2 inches on plasma piercing.
Wow.
Yes. So it's pretty thick material.
That's some pretty thick material.
Yes, yes.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. All you want to know about plasmas from the plasma experts at Komatsu.
Thank you.
Vincent,
Thank you, Mike.
thank you very much.
Thank you.